I knew something was wrong the second my gate code didn't work. Not technical glitch wrong. More like, someone changed it behind my back wrong. I tried again. Same result. Invalid code. Then the keypad buzzed once. And went completely dark. Even the backup line on my phone showed the system was offline. And that system? I built it myself. It doesn't just go offline. Not unless someone shuts it down, from the inside. That was Friday. 2:08 p.m. I remember because the sun was hitting the white concrete just right, and I noticed something else. The garage door. Slightly open. Maybe a few inches. I didn't call out. Didn't knock. Instead, I walked back to my car, popped the trunk, and pulled out my emergency tablet. A hardwired override panel that Lena didn't even know existed. One tap confirmed my worst suspicion. The network was down. Not glitched, disabled. And only 2 people knew how to do that. Me and Lena. So I went in quiet. Around the back. Through the service door near the garden. Still unlocked. Still no sound. Inside, the silence was heavy. No music. No TV. No hum from the smart fridge. Nothing. It felt like the house had been put on pause. Frozen in time. And that's when I heard it. Glass breaking. 1 room over. I stepped in carefully. The hardwood creaked once under my left foot. Then I turned the corner. And there she was. Lena. Standing dead center in the living room. Hair pulled back. Gym leggings. Torn white tank top. No shoes. Small scratches on her arms. Breathing way too calmly for someone who'd just been attacked. The coffee table? Shattered. Drawer contents scattered across the floor. She turned when she saw me. Eyes wide. Voice trembling. But just enough to sound rehearsed. Oh my God. They just ran out. They broke in. I swear I just got free. I didn't respond. Not yet. I just scanned the room. Cabinet drawers pulled open. 2 chairs knocked over. But the hallway closet, the one with the safe, still locked, untouched. And then she said the one line that made it all click. I think they took your dad's old watch. That Rolex you never wear. That watch. The Rolex Submariner. It wasn't just sentimental. My father gave it to me before he died. And I had it modified. Inside the backplate, sealed and hidden, was a 24-word recovery phrase for a cold crypto wallet. Not just a backup. A $2.3 million backup. That watch was never on display. Never left out. The only person who knew what it really contained was Lena. I'm calling the police, I said. She rushed over instantly. No, please don't. I'm shaken, but they didn't hurt me. I just want to forget this happened. Her voice cracked in all the right places. But her hands weren't shaking. Her face wasn't flushed. And her eyes? Too clear. And the worst part? There were no signs of a break-in. No muddy footprints. No forced lock. No scuff marks. No signs of a struggle. Not even a bruise on her wrist. Just a setup. And I had walked in before the curtain finished falling. That night, while Lena took a long, hot shower, I went to my office and accessed the local backup server, the offline one she didn't know about. The house stores 48 hours of security footage locally, on a hard drive locked in a cabinet. I found the timestamp, 11:16 a.m. There she was, standing at the front door. Calm. Dry hair. Same clothes. She looked out the window, waited 10 seconds, then opened the door, and let him in. Tall guy, ball cap, gray hoodie, head down. But right before he stepped out of frame, he reached behind him to close the door, and I saw it. Tattoo. Left wrist. Black ink. A serpent biting its own tail. I hadn't seen that tattoo in 3 years, but I knew exactly who it belonged to. My younger brother. I leaned in and paused the footage. There it was. Same tattoo. Same wrist. The exact design he got when we were still teenagers. Back when we still talked. Back when we were still brothers. He was supposed to be gone. Out of the country. Cut off from the family. And yet, here he was. In my house. While I was away. And Lena just let him in. Like they'd rehearsed it. I hit play again. They walked toward the living room, still talking. No audio, but her body language said it all. She was smiling, gesturing toward the cabinet. He followed, turned back once, said something that made her laugh. And then static. The feed cut out. 11:22 and 4 seconds AM. Just froze. I fast-forwarded. Nothing. The system picked up, recording again 2 hours later. Everything in between, gone. Someone had manually wiped the footage. And the backup system I designed? It doesn't just forget. You need admin-level access. You need physical credentials. And you need confidence. That narrowed it down to exactly 2 people. Me or someone who knew my system inside and out. And that tattoo confirmed what I already feared. I went digging, pulled out my old external drive, the one I hadn't touched in years, scrolled through old family photos. Found one. Thanksgiving. My brother, Adam, leaning against the deck railing at our dad's place, holding a beer, laughing at something out of frame. There it was. Same tattoo, same smirk, same birthmark on the left hand, just under the freckle. No doubt. It was him. We used to be close. I mean, really close. He was sharp, charismatic, the kind of guy who could sell anything to anyone. But he crossed a line more than once, and I was the one left cleaning up. Legal paperwork, sorting the estate. I helped our dad draft the will. Adam? He tried to sell off part of our family's land behind my back. That was the beginning of the end. We stopped talking. He disappeared. And I thought that chapter was closed. So seeing him now, not just back, but in my home with my girlfriend, that broke something in me. Not rage. Not yet. Something colder. Like watching a fuse get lit inside your chest. I needed more. So I went back into the server logs. No normal deletion records, but something else popped up. A remote session. Logged in through a secondary device. Lena's tablet. And here's the kicker. That tablet had connected during late mornings. Always when she claimed she was heading to brunch. I remember one of those days. Clear as crystal. I was sitting at the kitchen table. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "Meeting Taylor for brunch. Be back in a couple hours." Cool. She smiled. Said she'd bring back iced coffee. She didn't. I remember feeling off. Like the air had changed just slightly. So I checked the GPS history. One address kept showing up every few weeks. 1079 Flagler Pines Road. Out near the Everglades. Middle of nowhere. No through traffic. I'd never been there. But her tablet had. And Adam's. No, my brother's. Last known DMV record? Also showed a temporary address in that same zip code. I didn't hesitate. I drove out there. The place? A rundown one-story house. Tin roof. Half-broken gate. 2 cars in the driveway. One of them a Dodge Durango. Scratched driver's side door. Familiar. And then, I saw her. Lena. Walking out with a paper bag in her hands. She leaned into the driver's window of the Durango. And laughed. Then he leaned out. Adam. He kissed her on the cheek. Like it was nothing. Like this was normal. I didn't need to see any more. But I stood there longer than I should have. Not because I was in love. Not even because I was hurt. But because they looked coordinated. In sync. Like partners. This wasn't about cheating. It was about collaboration. They were planning something. I drove away without saying a word. Didn't text her. Didn't confront her. Not yet. I had enough confirmation to know this was deeper than betrayal. But I still didn't know the one thing that mattered most. Why her? Why now? Why the Rolex? Because if they were after just the money, they were missing one very important piece. That Rolex was only half the code. Most people think crypto wallets are protected by passwords or some app. That's only half the story. The real security is a seed phrase. 24 random words that act like a master key. Lose those words, lose everything. No recovery. No password reset. No, forgot my login. The Rolex had half that phrase hidden in its backplate. The other half, I memorized it. Never wrote it down. Never said it aloud. Only one person alive knew where that second half was kept. Me. So I stayed quiet. I drove home, showered, got dressed, made dinner like it was any other night. Even made her favorite, grilled salmon with wild rice and mango salsa. She walked in just after 8. "You cooked?" she said. "Thought we could reconnect," I replied. I poured her a glass of wine. She smiled. That soft, careful smile she used to give me when we first met. Only now, it felt like theater. We sat, ate, talked, or rather, she talked. I listened. Every word she said, every look she gave me. It was practiced. But I let it happen. Because the more comfortable she got, the more careless she'd become. I didn't need to confront her. I needed her to trust me again. Just long enough to walk into the trap. And it wouldn't involve guns or screaming or threats. No, I started small. I installed a new wall charger in the bedroom, camera inside. Added a smart smoke detector in the hallway, audio enabled. A mirror cam in my office, perfect angle of my desk. None of it stood out. All of it streamed to an encrypted local drive. Lena never suspected a thing. In fact, she started texting me again during the day. Photos, emojis, fake affection. She wanted to pull me back in, to seal the illusion. And that's when I set the hook. I left a folder open on my desktop. Labeled it, Estate Final Notes. Inside, fake note, sloppy handwriting, something that looked private. Made sure it mentioned the wallet. Made sure it hinted at where the other half might be. It was bait, and she took it. That night, at exactly 2:41 a.m., she crept into my office. No lights, barefoot, silent. I watched it all from my phone live feed. She opened the folder, flipped through the pages, photographed each one with her phone, then put them back, perfectly, almost perfectly. I noticed the smallest crease in the top left corner of the last sheet. Just enough to tell me, yeah, she went through it. The next morning I played dumb. Made her pancakes. Smiled like I had no idea. Then I checked her phone's location history again. At 11:13 a.m., her phone pinged the same location as before. Flagler Pines Road. 20 minutes later, she texted someone. "He bought it," she wrote. Then a pause. A second message. "That's it then. We're almost there." That confirmed everything. This wasn't just cheating. This wasn't just betrayal. This was a long con. They faked the break-in. They staged the panic. Now they were going to try and stay close long enough to find the rest of the key. Or maybe worse, try to force it out of me. But they didn't realize something crucial. They didn't realize that while they were acting, so was I. That night I started packing. Not to run, to get ahead. I already had the perfect place in mind. A cabin. Isolated. Quiet. Off-grid. It belonged to an old client of mine. Former federal contractor turned survivalist. Owed me a favor. The place was ideal. Hidden cameras in every room. Motion sensors. Encrypted cellular relay. And a panic system hardwired into the floorboards. I spent 2 full days prepping it. Testing everything twice. Then I went home. Looked Lena in the eyes and said, "Let's take a weekend away. Just us. No distractions." She blinked, acted surprised, touched her chest like it was something sweet. "You're really doing this?" she asked. "I am," I said. "I want to rebuild." She nodded, but I saw the calculation behind her eyes. She didn't hesitate, didn't protest. She was in, exactly how I needed her to be. She thought we were driving up to the cabin together. But the night before, I told her something came up at work. Said I'd meet her there. That gave me time. Time to check every camera, every microphone, every blind spot. The cabin was wired tighter than a federal deposition. I had eyes everywhere. Smoke detector in the bedroom, camera plus mic. Wall clock above the fireplace, pinhole lens. Bluetooth speaker on the nightstand, audio only. Always listening. Everything fed into a secure relay, 600 yards away, up on a hill inside an old hunting outpost. Solar powered. Insulated. Fully offline. That's where I'd be watching. I made the cabin look perfect. Wine on the counter. Blanket folded over the armrest. Firewood stacked neatly near the hearth. Soft music on standby. Even left a handwritten note on the pillow. Just us this weekend. No distractions. I missed you. Then I slipped out the back, hiked to the outpost, and waited. By dusk, the cabin was quiet. Lights on. Cameras live. At 7:43 p.m., headlights. She arrived. Hair pulled back. Soft sweater. Oversized bag slung over her shoulder. She looked innocent. Too innocent. She moved through the cabin like she owned it. Opened the wine. Lit a candle. Put on music. Played the role of the loving partner, like she was settling in for a cozy weekend. Then, 8:03 p.m., another vehicle. Headlights cutting through the trees. Parked farther back. Driver's side door opened. Hooded figure stepped out. Adam. Or Mike. He didn't even hesitate. Walked straight to the door. Knocked once. Lena opened it fast. Like she'd been waiting. No hesitation. No guilt. I watched them on the split screens side by side. Living room cam. Fireplace cam. Bedroom cam. Porch. They moved like co-conspirators. Synchronized. Comfortable. She handed him a glass of wine. They clinked. Laughed. He looked around the cabin like he owned it. Then she said, "It's all here. He's ready. I just need one more night." Mike nodded. She smiled again. For the next hour, I listened to them rehearse. What she'd say to me. How he'd sneak in if I resisted. How they'd get the second half of the code out of me. They actually believed they were in control. But the wallet? The one they were planning to access. It had an anti-breach system I'd built myself. If someone tried to access it with the wrong credentials, from the wrong device, from the wrong IP, it wouldn't just lock them out. It would flag the attempt, tag the GPS, and notify 3 endpoints in real time. At 10:15 p.m., she pulled out her phone. Typed a message. "He'll be here by noon tomorrow. I'll keep him busy. Be ready." Message sent. I tracked it. It bounced off a local tower, the same one tied to a burner phone used to call 3 separate European crypto exchanges in the last 48 hours. They weren't just trying to steal. They were preparing to vanish. Back at the cabin, Mike leaned against the fireplace, swirling his wine like he was already celebrating. Then he said it. Hard to believe this is the same guy who used to keep a backup plan for everything. He got soft. Lena laughed. He just wants to feel close to someone again, she said. I gave him that. Now he's giving me the rest. I stared at the screen. My girlfriend. My brother. Toasting to the fall of the person who gave them everything. They thought they'd broken me. But what they didn't understand was this. I don't confront traitors when they're angry. I confront them when they're comfortable. And right now, they looked very, very comfortable. They fell asleep. Adam or Mike on the couch, hoodie still on. Lena in the bedroom, curled up under the blanket I folded earlier that day. They looked peaceful, like a couple on a weekend getaway. Like nothing was wrong. It was surreal. Watching them from my screen's split feed, like some twisted reality show. 2 people I once loved in completely different ways. And now, they were strangers. I didn't feel rage. Not yet. What I felt was readiness. At exactly 7:15 a.m., I triggered the first message. The living room TV flickered on by itself. Black screen. No sound. Then white text. Good morning. Smile for the camera. Adam sat up instantly. I squinting. Staring. Then the second slide appeared. You're not alone. You haven't been for days. Then the screen split. For live feeds. The living room, he was in it. The bedroom, Lena still sleeping. The fireplace cam. The front porch. He froze. Eyes darting. Breath shallow. He reached for his phone. No bars. No signal. Then the bedroom door creaked. Lena walked out, rubbing her eyes. Groggy. Still unaware. Why's the TV on? She asked. Adam didn't answer. She turned toward the screen. Saw the feeds. Color drained from her face like someone pulled a plug. She whispered, Is that? Then Adam snapped. The hell is this? The TV flickered again. This time my voice. Calm. Controlled. You spent the last 2 weeks pretending. Practicing. Lying. Lena gasped. She backed away from the screen. Adam kicked over the coffee table. You didn't just betray me, I continued. You rehearsed the heist. Like it was a script. He stormed toward the door. Tried to yank it open. Locked. He cursed. Kicked the bottom panel. Nothing. Ran to the kitchen, phone charger outlets all cut off. Then he grabbed the TV remote. Tried turning it off. It didn't respond. Lena stood still. Barefoot. Frozen. Just staring at the screen. Like she was hoping it would disappear. Then I triggered the next message. There's a file. Already in the hands of my attorney. Full audio. Full timestamps. Full names. You won't disappear. You won't run. You'll stay. And you'll feel what it's like to lose control. Then I switched the feed. Just her face now. Zoomed in from the bedroom mirror cam. She was shaking. Finally. She whispered. Please? Can I talk to you? I waited. Let the silence stretch. Then said. Not yet. They were locked in. No way out. No idea what would come next. And that was the point. Because this wasn't revenge. Not really. This was education. A lesson in consequences. And it was only just beginning. They didn't know what to do. Adam paced the cabin like a caged animal. Lena sat on the edge of the bed, eyes locked on the TV, like maybe, just maybe, it would all go away if she stared long enough. I didn't send another message for hours. I let the silence work. Let them sweat. Let them think. Around noon, Adam tried to smash the front lock with a fire poker. Didn't work. Then he tried the window latches. Deadbolt from the outside. Reinforced. Every move he made only confirmed one thing. He didn't understand who he was dealing with. Back at my outpost, I wasn't celebrating. I was working. I finalized the package. Every second of video. Every whisper. Every look. Every lie. I compiled it all. Stitched with timestamps and a clean narrative. Into a series of encrypted files. I uploaded copies to 3 places. My attorney. Private server in Switzerland. And 1 offline hard drive in a lockbox only I could access. Redundancy is peace. Then I picked up my phone and made a single call. Langley, ex-military, ex-agency, now private investigator with a specialty in digital identity fraud. He owed me one. Run a face scan, I told him. Guy's name is Adam Reyes, but I don't think that's his real name. He didn't even ask why. 3 days later, Langley called back. You're gonna want to sit down, he said. I didn't. His real name's Michael T. Dawson. Goes by Mike. Multiple aliases. 2 sealed juvenile cases in Illinois. 1 active warrant in Nevada for wire fraud back in 2017. He paused. Your brother doesn't exist. I said nothing. Not because I was shocked, but because I was already uploading the evidence package while he spoke. Mike Dawson. Not Adam. A fake name. A fake life. And now a very real trail of crimes. I drafted a report. Anonymously. Filed it with the Florida Department of Financial Crimes, the Nevada State Attorney's Office, and the IRS Fraud Division. Charges included false identity, possession of stolen documentation, attempted estate manipulation, crypto fraud intent, recorded conspiracy to defraud. I didn't include emotion, just facts, video, audio, date, time, faces. Let the system handle the rest. For days later, Mike was arrested. Not for what he did to me, but for everything he thought he left behind. Old crypto scams, tax evasion, forged identity documents. I didn't even need to lift a finger. The system took care of him for me. As for Lena, she didn't know. Not yet. She tried texting him for days. Got nothing. Tried calling from a burner. Also dead. And finally she called me. Her voice? Cold. Shaky. Where is he? She asked. I said nothing. You did this. You set him up. Still nothing. Then she snapped. You think you won? You're still alone. You've got nothing but cameras to talk to. I finally answered. You're right. I'm alone. But now, so are you. Then I hung up. That night, I watched her pack her things. 2 bags. No plan. She walked out without a word. No police. No lawyer. No fight. And I let her. Because it wasn't over. Not for her. Not yet. Her name wasn't Lena. Not really. A few days after she left, I got an email. Anonymous sender. No text. Just a photo attachment. First, I thought it was a mistake. But then I opened it. And there she was. Smiling in a selfie. Different hair, different clothes, same eyes. Same smirk. The caption read, Rachel Marie Dawson. Not Lena. Not the girl I lived with for 3 years. Rachel. Mike's sister. Biological. Not just metaphorical. It hit me like static. Like the final piece of the puzzle I didn't know was still missing. All this time I thought I was dealing with 2 people. Turns out, I was dealing with one bloodline. Rachel didn't betray me for love. She did it for legacy. For loyalty. For the con. And then I got the invitation. Digital flyer. Embedded RSVP. A birthday dinner for Rachel Marie Dawson. She wasn't hiding. Wasn't running. She was celebrating. Rebranding her life like nothing had happened. New city. New circle. Same pattern. At first, I almost ignored it. But then I saw the guest list. Her mother. Her boss. Her cousins. Her old college roommate. And her mentor from a nonprofit. The people who still believed in her. I made one call. Booked a 20-minute time slot at the venue under the guise of AV support for the event. Told them I'd be running a quick tech test. They gave me access to the projector. The night of the party, I showed up in a navy suit. Clean shave. Quiet smile. Rachel froze the moment she saw me. Wine glass in hand. Smile cracked mid-sip. You came, she said. I wouldn't miss it, I replied. The room was full of laughter. Clinking glasses. Little speeches from friends and family. Rachel played the part like a pro. Soft laughs. Humble nods. Hand on my shoulder. Like nothing had ever happened. And then, the host handed me the mic. Would the gentleman like to say a few words? I stood. Smiled. Looked around the room. Then straight at Rachel. I made you something, I said. A little highlight reel. She looked confused. Maybe a little nervous. But still smiling. The projector buzzed. The screen lit up. It started soft. Photos of us on the beach. Hiking. Laughing. Birthday dinners. Music underlaid something gentle. People in the crowd murmured. Ah! Rachel relaxed. And then, the shift. Cabin footage. Her voice. He'll give it up soon. I just need one more night. Mike kissing her on the forehead. Her whispering into a burner phone. Her laugh as she said, he still thinks I love him. Gasped. Silence. Her mom started crying. Her boss stood up and walked out. Rachel didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. The screen froze on a final quote. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou. I put the mic back to my lips. I didn't do this to humiliate you, I said. I did this to stop you from rewriting the story. And then I walked out the side door. Left her there. In a room full of people who finally saw her for who she really was. She couldn't talk her way out of it this time. No spin. No rescue. No second act. Just silence. And fallout. People like to think revenge brings closure. Like once the truth is out, once the mask drops, you feel clean. Healed. Free. But that's not how it works. Not for me. The night after the party, I didn't sleep. Not because of guilt. Because of exhaustion. 3 years of routines, of shared coffee, shared playlists, Sunday mornings with her legs across my lap. They don't just vanish when you hit play on a reveal video. I still turned in bed at 3 a.m. expecting her beside me. Still reached for my phone after a hard day, half typing her name before stopping. The fallout came fast. Rachel was fired the following Monday. Her firm cited conflict of ethical standards after the video started circulating internally. Apparently, she'd been using work hours and company resources to help Mike's crypto laundering attempts. They found messages. One included a spreadsheet labeled Crypto Ladder 2023 non-trace. Mike, or legally Michael Dawson, was denied bail. Turns out the Nevada charges weren't buried deep. There was a case involving elderly investors, fake accounts, and a phony trading platform. He's looking at 3 to 5 years if convicted. Minimum. He tried to contact me once. Through a lawyer. I declined. Friends told me I'd won. "You got them both," one said. "That's a perfect ending." But it didn't feel perfect. My house was still filled with her shadow. Not her scent. Not her clothes. Her patterns. The coffee mug she always reached for. The faint curve of her pillow on the couch, still leaning left. The Spotify playlist she made for road trips, still in my library. I wasn't haunted by her actions. I was haunted by the version of her I wanted to believe in. I tried dating. Twice. Both women were kind, funny, patient. But I flinched every time they asked about my work. Or reached for my phone. Or took too long to text back. I became someone I didn't recognize. Suspicious. Closed. Paranoid. I stopped saying I was engaged. Now I just say, it didn't work out. Because it's easier than explaining how I got played by someone I trusted enough to give my house key. And my passwords. Sometimes I still check her name. Rachel Marie Dawson. Nothing. No social media. No LinkedIn. No whispers in the crypto forums. Like she disappeared the moment the last person stopped believing her. Maybe that's what she always wanted. To become someone new. A new name. A new angle. A new target. And maybe, someday, someone else will see that same smile and think it means safety. God help them. You know what no one tells you? When someone you love turns out to be the villain, you still miss them anyway. Not who they really were, but the version they let you love. That's the cruelest part. She didn't just steal money. She didn't just lie. She stole the piece of me that believed. It's been 7 months. Life moved on. Or at least it pretended to. I still go to work. Still nod at the barista who never asks questions. Still clean the house on Saturdays. Like she's coming back. My home feels different now. Not haunted. Not heavy. Just quiet. It doesn't hold tension anymore. It echoes. I never heard from Rachel again. No text. No letter. No public meltdown. She vanished like a ghost with a guilty conscience. Her lawyer reached out once, just to confirm I wasn't pressing formal charges. I signed the waiver, not because she didn't deserve it, but because I didn't need a courtroom to win. She burned her own life. Mike pled guilty. 3 counts of wire fraud. 1 count of identity manipulation. 28 months. Parole possible after 16. I won't be there when he gets out. But here's the thing. Closure didn't come from his sentence. Came from someone I didn't expect. Her mom. One Saturday afternoon, she knocked on my door. I hadn't seen her since the party. She looked smaller. Tired. Grief behind her eyes, not just for her daughter, but for what she raised. "I won't stay," she said. "I just wanted to say thank you." "For what?" I asked. "For giving her the chance to be better. Even if she didn't take it." She handed me an envelope. Inside, a photo of Rachel as a kid. Smiling. Pure. No mask yet. And a letter. Handwritten. No signature. Just 1 line. "I was never her. I just knew how to pretend." I don't know if Rachel wrote it, or her mom, or someone else, but I kept it. Not out of sentiment. Not because I still loved her, but because it reminded me of something I nearly forgot. Betrayal doesn't define you. It reveals them. I used to think pain came from the lie, but it doesn't. Pain comes from remembering the person you built in your head. From realizing you were in love with a ghost. And then watching that ghost walk out the door, wearing your trust like a stolen coat. But I'm still here, still breathing, still walking through the same front door, but locking it twice now, still cooking for one, still sleeping better. Not because the nightmares are gone, but because I finally stopped asking why. Sometimes there is no why. There's just what happened, and what you do next. I still hesitate when someone gets too close. Still flinch when a stranger knows my middle name. Still don't sync my phone with anyone else's. But I don't hate her. Not anymore. Because hate is just a different kind of leash. And the only thing worse than being lied to is letting it own the rest of your life. So no, I'm not over her. But I'm done giving her space in my mind. She stole a piece of me, but she didn't get all of it. And that's enough. I don't tell this story for sympathy, or for shock value, or even justice. I tell it because silence protects predators. And pretending you weren't hurt, that just keeps you bleeding quietly. So I said it out loud. And now it's done. Mike will serve his time. Rachel will wear a face no one fully trusts again. And I get to live. Not in fear, not in anger, but in control. People still ask sometimes, would you do it differently if you had the chance? And I say no, because you don't learn who you are when things go right. You learn who you are when everything breaks. When the person you loved the most becomes the person who could hurt you the worst. And you survive. That's what makes you. Not revenge. Not exposure. Clarity. That's what I got. I see people more clearly now. Not with suspicion, but with precision. I trust slower, but I listen better. I don't chase closure from others. I build it myself. Sometimes, late at night, I still catch myself thinking of her. Not the con artist. The version she pretended to be. The one who made Sunday mornings feel like home. The one who kissed me on the back of the neck when I was stressed. The one who remembered how I took my coffee without asking. And yet, I missed that version. But I remind myself, she was fiction. I'm reality. And reality doesn't lose to lies. The story doesn't end with courtrooms or prison sentences or exposed footage. The story ends right here. With me. Still standing. Still here. Still whole. Even without her. Especially without her.